This is section 23, reports of the results of t-test in making sense of statistics. So when we were talking in the previous section, in section 22, we were discussing the use of t-test to test the differences between two sample means for their statistical significance. Now, you know, we also have to look at the fact that values of means should be reported before the results of the statistical test performed on them are reported. So that is basically when we are talking about the values of the means. That means that we should be reporting our means, our standard deviations, and our N or our number of cases before reporting the results of our t-test. Now, a lot of the times, if you look in a journal, you'll see tables. And so here is how we are looking at this. If you'll look on page 123 in your text, you'll see table 23.1. That shows you the means and the standard deviations and how it should be reported for two sample means. Now we had group A and group B. We also talk within this that how our groups were drawn at random, and we also talk about how our null hypothesis shows that there is a 3.5 difference if you took the mean of group B and you subtract the mean of group A. Now in our null hypothesis, we see that it says mu of A and mu of B. However, make it simple on yourself. Take the highest mean and use it first and subtract the lowest mean from it. It makes a lot more sense. Between the means of 2.5 and 6.0 is the result of sampling errors, and that is the errors resulting from random sampling, and that the true difference in the population means is 0. So here we say the results of the t-test on table 23.1. We can describe this in different ways. We can talk about the means being statistically significant. We can talk about the difference between the means is statistically significant. So if you look at the p-value, what we can say, because p is less than 0.01, we know that if the p is less than 0.05, that it is statistically significant. So we're reporting the results of our t-test, and we're reporting our degrees of freedom, and we are also reporting our p-values. Now, remember, saying statistically significant is also synonymous with rejecting the null hypothesis. So in this particular statement, we're just simply saying the difference between the means is statistically significant, and then we are within the statement, we are telling you the p-value. Now, the second example, what we're using some slightly different wording, and we're also though saying that, the difference is significant. So, we are saying that it is significant at the 0.01 level, which indicates that the p-value was equal to or less than 0.01. So the null hypothesis was rejected. And then if you will look at the third statement, we actually say the null hypothesis was rejected, which of course it means the same thing. as saying that the results are statistically significant. Now, so we say the null hypothesis was rejected at the 0.01 level. Notice that in each one of the statements, we do report the p-value. We either say that it is statistically significant, it is significant, or we indicate the null hypothesis was rejected, which is the same thing as saying that there was a significance. Now, any of these is acceptable. Most of the time, when writing for journal articles, we don't mention the null hypothesis. So the majority of the time, we don't talk about the null hypothesis being rejected. We talk about the results, the p-value being significant or statistically significant. Now, when we are using the word significant, we're also using statistically significant. So we may be saying the result is statistically significant, but is it really practically significant? Well, let's talk about what is practical significance. So let's say that a researcher found that there was statistically significant difference of 2 points in favor of a computer-assisted learning approach over a traditional lecture or a textbook approach. And while these 2 points may be statistically significant, it may not be of any practical significance. So if the school district has to spend a lot of money to buy new computers and new software, the cost difference may be too great in relation to the size of the benefit. It actually may be cheaper to just continue with a lecture or textbook approach rather than a computer-assisted approach. So that might be what we would say, well, it's statistically significant but not practically significant. Now, here again, let's look at how the researchers report the results of a t-test when the difference between the means is not statistically significant. So let's talk about that. And here we have, again, you see the null hypothesis. We have group A and group B. Now, we do look at our p-value in this. In 23.2, we're looking at our p-value. Our p is greater than 5 in example 4. So when we're talking about this, we can say, well, the difference between the means is not statistically significant. Now, see again, we report our t-test, we report our degrees of freedom, and we report our p-value as p is greater than 0.05. Now, another way that we can say that it is not significant is that we can use the abbreviation N period, S period, to indicate that the difference is not significant. Now, because we don't talk about a specific probability level in the second sentence, most readers would assume that it was not significant at the 0.05 level, which is, of course, the most widely liberally used and applied level. Now, this last sentence is probably the most accurate. The null hypothesis for the difference between the means was not rejected at the 0.05 level. So you'll see variations if you're reading journal articles or if you're looking at theses or dissertations. So these are actually just some of the most widely used forms of expressions and the results of the t-test. You know, when we talk about the 0.05 level being the most liberal, it is the level most likely to permit rejection of the null. So, you know, if we were using the 0.01 or the 0.001 levels, we would be less likely to reject the null than if the 0.05 level is used. So this concludes section 23, reports of the results of t-test. I would suggest that you go back and read the section for more information.